what's up,
Recording now.
everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Feed the Geeks. And this one is very, very special because we're here with Mr. Czar. Czar, right?
Yep, that's right. My name is
Yeah, that's right.
Zar. Yeah.
And tell us what you do, Czar.
So yeah, basically, my name first and foremost, my name is Zar Ompat, and I used to be a 3D modeler for Sony, and currently I'm working as a CFX artist in Sony. I am one of the many artists who worked on Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, a recently movie who got really really successful in their first
Yeah.
opening. Yeah, it was a mind-blowing show.
Oh man, like congratulations on that magnificent it's
Hmm.
impressive. The movie was really, really good. And my friend Bayani and I were discussing all about it on a previous episode, and we were talking about how these animation styles are so impressive that we could already feel like how hard it is for you guys to like work this out. And
Hmm.
we realized that okay, no wonder they did like two parts of this movie.
Yeah.
And I have a question for you. Since you said you're a CFX artist, right?
Hmm.
What what does that mean? What is that?
So basically, so let's just like make a comparison between two, right? So modeling artist is basically the one who creates like an asset. Let's just say if you make a building for an AutoCAD software, right? That's basically us, but in like 3D space. So basically, what the character touches, what the character is doing, like basically the character itself, props, environments, all those kind of stuff. It's basically the things that you see in the frames, right? And CFX artist is basically working on clothes, working on hair, simulations, and all those stuff. It's different between CFX artist and FX artist. They are different in many ways. Because CFX is mainly on the look of the clothing and the look of the hair, while FX artist is basically a bunch of stuff like what do you call that, like wind, liquids, volumes, you name it, like everything that's physical, like destroyed buildings and all those shit.
Mm. So like, is there any compare between the two? What's the hardest thing like, or are
It
they
really
like the
depends,
same
man,
thing?
because like if you're working on model, it depends on the project, to be honest. Because let's just say if you're a modeling artist, the one that's really hardest is somewhat like in VFX because it takes a lot of time to create. Like let's just say, I'm not sure if you heard about like 3D scanning stuff like that. But
I actually
basically,
have no idea.
so
Yeah.
basically it's kind of like scanning a an object in the real world. Let's just say your head, right? So it's
Mm.
basically scanned it out and then put it onto a computer, and then after that you have to clean it. That's one of the technicalities of like modeling. While CFX is also hard when it comes on like, I'd say like special shots like hair that's like in the water. Like I'm not sure if you've seen Little Mermaid, like, but I've seen a bunch of like snippets of it. But I've like most I can tell like most of the shots in Little Mermaid was like CFX like heavy in terms of like hair and I don't know, like the clothing and all those stuff,
Mm.
because I to be honest, bro, like it's really complicated if I keep on going in terms of like technicalities. But yeah, I'd say modeling it's much more straightforward when in terms of working, but CFX is more on like technicalities where like you change like numbers, like oh I should do the what do you call it, like stretching or damping or rigidity and all those kind of stuff, constraints, all of the
Mm.
technical stuff. But yeah.
It's a really complicated process that I can't even like understand, right? Like,
Mhm.
animators would well understand what you're talking about. So if anyone's listening, yeah, what does the C in CFX mean anyway?
See character
Character
effects. Yeah,
effects.
yeah. So
Interesting.
yeah, so
Okay.
in the industry, it's like really a lot of like people working on a one show. It's not just like if we do like a comparison of like Filipino, like Filipino, what I call it, like movies or effects versus like the like big budget movies like I don't know, like Sony
The
or
Spider
Spider
Verse.
Man. Yeah, Spider to say Spider Verse, right? It's just like I'd say there's a lot more people in a animated movie than a VFX movie, just because in a VFX movie there's like, let's just say Transformers. right? They kind of like hire multiple studios, probably like 5 studios working on different shots. So let's just say Sony, but we didn't work on Transformer. No, let's just do like an example, right? Let's
Mm-hmm.
just say Sony. Okay, we're gonna do this shot like from frame this or like scene this to scene that, and then other studios will work on different shots too as well, and then they kind of like combine it in an edit. So it's not just like one company, but in the animated film, like animated like movie like in Spider-Man, it's only Sony who worked on it, like entire like crew of Sony, like uh, SPA, which is called Sony Pictures Animation, and SPI, which is Sony Pictures Image Work, where like they do like those effects or like the technical side of it.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you could say that there's no outsourcing when it comes to Sony when it comes to animating.
So no, there is none. There's no outsourcing.
Mm.
But like on, it's not really outsourcing. We call it in like in movie, like it's basically vendors. So basically,
Mm-hmm.
who sells the service itself? Like let's just say, ILM is Industrial Lights and Magic, which is owned by Disney, or let's just say Frame Store. Let's just say Double Negative. There's a lot of studios, but that's basically the idea. It's vendors. It's not just like
Mm-hmm.
one, but there's like a bunch of people working. But there's only one production, Disney,
Mm.
which is the client. Yeah, so that's the idea of it. It's just think of it as like um, Voltes 5. You've seen it, right?
Voltus 5.
Yeah, let's
I
just
have
say.
not. I have not seen it actually,
Oh, you
but
haven't seen it.
we can talk
Well,
about it though.
yeah, so like let's just
Sige.
say Voltes 5, right? Voltes 5 is somewhat made by somewhere on the publishing is GMA, but their client is was it Bandai or Tamiya? I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
What is Voltes 5 again? Who owns Voltes
Uh,
5? Totally
I
forgot.
probably Japanese. I don't know.
Koei? Something like that? Toei?
Oh,
Yeah, Toei.
Koei.
Yeah, Toei.
Toei.
Yeah,
Toei. Yeah. Yeah.
Toei, something like that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So basically, their client is them, and then the vendor is, I don't know, GMA or something like that. So it's kind of like that kind of idea. But here is much more broad because a lot of options, a lot of people like, selling their, services. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Since we're talking about like Filipino shows,
Hmm.
are you allowed to talk shit to these? What's
I
the
mean,
problem with our industry
so
here? If you're gonna say
there's not
something
really
bad.
like when I every time like I see like yeah, you would say like it's not that really good. Like it's not appealing. It's 100%. It's because of like the producers. Producers is not just like one person. It's just like basically the client and the producers are the only one who like designate where the money goes. So it's basically the client itself who like how much money they can provide. And also second would be there's not enough studios in our in Philippines because like if you see the bigger picture in a Hollywood film, right? As I told you earlier, it's not just like one nationality. There's like a bunch, like Mexicans, Indians, some Caucasians, like Asians as well. Like it's really like broad in terms of like artists. So I think that's one of it because when you say Filipino movies, it's really hard to create your own like whole entire nation like create your own. Well, like probably like Indians can do it. Like you see Bollywood, right? They have done
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
they have like
So
a shit ton of manpower there with them,
but
so they're good.
the thing with Bollywood is that um there actually there's one studio here. I think it was Double Negative or Digital Domain. I forgot. They have a studio in India as well, which kind of like help the other artists to know how the industry in Hollywood works as well. But because like in our country we have our own thing going on, right? Like in
Mm-hmm.
Philippines we have our own thing going on. So basically I think it's hard for us to like really innovate in terms of like I don't know
What
VFX.
What do you mean by own thing going on?
No, yeah, because like let's just say I mean I can really talk about you like a bunch of stuff about the Voltus 5 show, which is like there's I mean I'm pretty sure like I think I saw it that their director or supervisor in VFX said that he knows that there's a lot more things that has to be done. But like time constraints, like it's really I'd say like it's really hard to to be able to create that kind of like a production,
Mm-hmm.
especially when all of your crew is a Filipino, which I am sure that some of them are like there's also like mixed, but just a little bit of them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think that's the main one of the reasons is like there's not enough studios and the talents are like I don't know like not a lot because I think some talents from Philippines like move out to different countries, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
it's the safest way to get more
yeah.
money,
Yeah,
and
yeah, 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 yeah.
can
So
you blame
like
them, right?
yeah, because like here I don't know. I mean, in Philippines, I don't know, man. Like if you're an artist there, you know what's the thought of like if you're an artist in our country, like you're nothing. Like you know what I mean? Because like
Oh,
most in our country, like you have to be nurse, you have to be. I'm not like I'm not like saying bad things about nursing or engineering or like architecture and all those stuff. It's just like that's the reality that in country is, right? But here's
yeah,
like even if you're a tattoo artist or even if you're a barber or even if you're like the like cleaning guy, man, you still earn a lot. Like some people here like make their own company like just cleaning company and they earn like a lot tons of money.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it probably that's the thing separating from the first world to the third world as well.
Oh yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
So
that's so true.
it sucks to see that like there's really nothing we can do in a Philippine sense that's
Hmm.
far you guys like in Canada it's actually well better there.
Yeah, much
And
better.
we did yeah, we were straight too far from the topic now. Like
Yeah, it's all
we
good.
were talking about Spider-Verse, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we and Bayani and I enjoyed it. We talked a lot about it on our previous episode, and yeah, it's great to see how impressive the animation style is.
Hmm.
That we we could not like we cannot conceive like this thing has people have worked so hard on this. Probably there's blood, sweat, and tears like
Hmm.
poured over this one.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
what do you think? What was the feeling working on a project as big as Spider Verse?
At first it was really like confusing at first because first of all like they were trying to create something new, but they don't know like like I'm not sure if you know, but there's three directors working on that show, and then I think there's two or one writer, Phil
Hmm?
Lord. I
I only
forgot.
know Phil Lord.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Phil Lord is. I've worked on his one movie too. It Mitchell's versus the Machine, I think.
All
In
right. Yeah.
Mitchell's, yeah.
I
So
love that one though.
oh yeah, I think it kind of like started at that, and then when because like they keep on innovating in terms of like the tools, like the rendering stuff they do in Sony as well. So I think when they started working on Sony, it was I mean in Spider Verse, it was kind of like they tried to like see how they're going to like what do you call that? Put it onto another next level, I'd say, because like
Mm.
if you watch the movie where you which you did, right, there's like a bunch
Yes.
of like shots that has different style. Like in the first movie you've seen the noir or the noir,
The noir
noir,
Spider-Man,
yeah,
the
noir
Nicolas
Spider-Man.
Cage one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage. You've seen the anime version of it. You've seen some cartoony. You've seen some realistic, but this one is like really they put different types of like styles, which kind of like slowly transition from like small to like really drastic like style page. If you have like extra, I would say like extra money or something, I'd probably like check out the what I call it, the art book from Sony.
The art book. Okay.
Yeah, 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 because they have like a bunch of like what do you call that, styles that they actually I did the motorbike for the girl. What's her name
No
again?
way.
Yeah, the Jessica. Yeah, that a character. I've
Mm-hmm.
like how would I explain it? Like at first they only have. It was really funny because it took me like really long time to finish that. Not because like I was shit or probably I was shit, but I know. But it was like they had this reference which I kind of like finished, but then they didn't like it because it doesn't seem like it's special. Because basically we have this reference, like somebody will draw it, somebody do like the artwork for it, and then as a 3D modeler, we're the only one who like create the asset and then create it as a 3D model, right? So it took like a lot of changes to just finish that motorbike. I don't know, because they tried to like create a different type of motorbike, but still a motorbike that you can tell it's a motorbike. So
Mm-hmm.
like one of those stuff, and then actually the vulture, the vulture guy, the enemy guy, yeah,
The first one, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
the first villain. Actually, the one who modeled it was Leon Enriquez. He's also a Filipino artist who also worked
Mm.
in RPG Metanoia, one of the pioneers there as well. Yeah,
Ooh.
he also worked in. I just want to shout out to him because he helped me a lot as well. So he worked on, I think Enteng Cabezote, like Plastic Man, those kind of
Mhm.
stuff.
Okay, so you gotta start from small, like, right,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
move on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's kind of like he worked on Vulture, which is that I think that's one of the intricate characters in the movie, just because of like the weapons he has, the jetpacks, and all like the like the moving part that he has.
Yeah,
So
and
yeah,
the Renaissance like
yeah,
art
the Ren.
style, right?
So that one is different. So the other department works on that. So it's like
Mm.
yeah, yeah. So it's not just him. So after, let's just say after we work on a model, it get passed to texturing artists, passed to different departments until it goes to like the final shot and stuff like that. But yeah, it was really like fascinating to see how the movie transformed, to be honest, because I think after I worked, I wasn't really like one of the final artists who worked on that one, like because usually when the movie gets like slow because of like the inventory is going down, right? I
Mm-hmm.
moved to a different show. I think it was working on Ant-Man at that time, or Guardians. I think it was Guardians of the Galaxy. So yeah, I wasn't able to like see the show like really finished till the end, but I was lucky enough to be part of the credits, so that's
Mm.
good for the
Yeah.
resume. So
Yeah, like it's great to like see a friend from mine, like a high school mate, and
yeah,
you know, from even from Southwestern, right? Like a school that we didn't fucking expect to
yeah, that's the thing,
like
man.
be.
Like I
Mhm.
was in this like small, I was just me and my brother were just renting like the small crib in, I think, Rogelio, something like that.
Mhm. I'm literally in Rogelio right now.
Oh, really? So we used to live there, and then after that, I don't know, man. I don't know how it, became to be like this, but like really blessed to be able to work
Yeah,
in. Yeah.
it's really great. Like when I saw you, when I saw you posting stuff like you're working on Mitchells and the Machines, and
Hmm.
then now you're working on Spider Verse. Have you
Yeah.
worked on the first one though?
No, I haven't. So actually, when I worked in Sony, that was the time where like they were showing Spider Verse, so I was able to like hold the Grammys. I think no, it wasn't not Grammys. It was
Mm-hmm.
Golden Globes and the Oscars. So I was able to
Mm-hmm.
take a photo with the animation supervisor as well as the director. So it was like, oh, I
Mm.
was holding this like really heavy golden, like really like pure gold statue, and it's like what? I don't know.
Is it
Probably
is it literally like pure
it's really
gold?
heavy.
Really?
Not really
Yeah.
literally pure gold. Probably there's like probably like 90% gold and a little bit of like mixed of it, but it's really heavy, dude. Like really,
Mm-hmm.
really heavy. Probably like, I don't know, 10 pounds or something. And
And
we
you
were not.
felt like the inspiration on it when you touched it. Like it powered you. Like okay, I'm gonna work on this
No, man,
shit.
I was really anxious at that time because I
Mm-hmm.
just started like working in the industry, and it was like shit. I don't know what to do. I don't know anything like the
Mm-hmm.
standard, because before I went to Sony, I told you I was working for a year, so basically I was just like a standby, like waiting for a job to land on me. So like after that a year or so, I was able to come in Sony, and yeah, we were given like free pass to watch Spider Verse. Then I was able to, yeah, probably first they go straight to like working in the second.
Mm. Oh man. With the second movie and all, like, what do you think is like your favorite? Have you seen that though? Like, what's the process? You told me right that when you finish animating, you don't get to watch it, or
It's not
how
us
does it
who
work?
animate; it's basically the animators. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a really complicated. So basically, I'll probably like tell you like the whole process. So basically, modeling.
Mm-hmm.
After modeling, it gets through texturing artist, and if it's, let's just say, character, so modeling, texturing goes to rigging. After the rigging goes to animation. After animation, it goes to CFX. CFX pass through compositing. If it needs effects will do it. and then after that they do like the look dev. Look dev is basically looking like probably like matching that type of prop or asset. Asset is basically what we call like the model itself.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say Gwen or Miles Morales. Miles Morales is an asset, right? It
Mm-hmm.
get passed through like all those departments, and after that, look dev will come. Then after look dev, they do adjustments. If they don't like it, go pass back to texturing artist. And if texturing artist says like, oh, it's not working on our side, goes back to modeling again, then go around and around circle until everything is approved, then go past to editing. Then after that, sound like that kind of process.
And it's even harder to think that Spider Verse has a shit ton of assets, right? Like
Oh yeah, man.
so many, like every Spider Man has their own and styles,
Ah,
and
so
how
that
does.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that one is so basically if you work on an industry, right? That's what we call like uh what do you call that? Like hero characters. It's always people in the industry knows this as well. Like there's what we call hero characters. There's also what we call generic characters. There's also
Mm-hmm.
what we call like just background characters, right? So
Mm-hmm.
background characters doesn't have a lot, and it shares. You've played games, right? So
Yeah,
probably you
yeah.
know some of this like the rigging, like like when like animation where like sometimes how do I explain this? Rigging is basically the bones of the
So
character.
so skeletons of
Yeah, skeletons.
like.
Yeah, yeah, basically like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then we only model one character, and then after that, the skeleton will just do like different type of variations, like tall, short, big, fat, or skinny,
Mm.
those kind of stuff. So
But
basically,
there's a T-Rex there, and
T-Rex is different.
a,
Yeah, that would
a
be
cat Spider-Man. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, that would be different. So basically, I'd say I'd say the one that's what do you call that? Like the main characters there is are just like the one that's really special are like the villains, and then some of the main characters. But most of them are probably like I don't know, just generic characters. Because I wasn't really
Mm.
able to like see like the whole process what they did, but in the industry that's how they do it just to save money. Same thing in
Mm.
like mobile games where like they share the same body, but it's just like they attach different like
Mm-hmm.
weapons, different textures. Where like let's just say I don't know if you played Tower Fantasy,
Oh,
so
I don't play Tower
you
Fantasy.
don't play Tower Fantasy. I do,
Mm-hmm.
but basically because if you go to their website, they kind of like share the 3D models, and I was
Mm-hmm.
able to like see like the how they built it and stuff. So it shares the same mesh or like the same asset, but it's like different props. That's how I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did notice that when it comes to games, like they reuse the same frames when it's basically like, for example, like God of War,
Hmm.
like it's Kratos, right? And then does it happen like Atreus has that kind of thing, or
It really
these enemy
depends.
the enemy draugers have like
Hmm.
the same bones every time.
Because like games and movies are somewhat the same, but at the same time, it's a little bit, just a little
Mm.
bit that has differences. I'd say.
Oh yeah, let's not like
Yeah.
that's another like realm that we probably got to spend another hour on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's so true.
Mm.
But it like
Yeah.
basically, games are like totally different because games has to be like slow. But I don't know now because Unreal 5 is there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't know, like I think it was what show was it? It was from Netflix, Love, Death, Robots, was it?
Yeah, I love I love that one.
Yeah, because like Sony created a show, like Sony made one short film with that. I think it was Lucky 13, the new one.
Lucky 13. What was that about again?
Not Lucky 13 was the first one where like the spaceship and then the girl died and everybody was something like that. Then the second one was like where they went into a cave and then Cthulhu was there and the girl
Oh,
like
yeah, in Halls Entombed.
yeah, and Halsey, yeah, yeah, yeah. That movie was, I think it was made, it was finished using Unreal Engine.
Ooh, no wonder they look so like realistic, right?
Yeah, so
Unreal
basically,
Engine 5.
yeah, Unreal. So basically, I think they what they told us that that movie or like the whole movie was, they were trying to like create the whole entire season or entire short of it using Unreal Engine because like they're trying to because it was used metahumans. So that's how they like introduced metahumans. And like most of the characters saw there was somewhat like used metahumans to like I don't know create the whole characters and stuff. That's what I've heard.
I I don't know what metahumans is.
So metahumans is basically like if you go to Unreal Engine 5
Hmm.
and if you download like metahumans, it's basically a free character creating tool with all the blend shapes and like the facial shapes. We call it facial shapes like the raising of eyes, eyebrow left right, smiling left right,
Mm.
nose up, something like that. All those like technical stuff. Do you have a good computer? No.
No, I have a shitty one,
My
but
mine's shitty too. I have
it's.
5-year-old computer, so yeah.
How do you have a shitty computer when you're working on like
Oh, because we're
CFX?
somewhat like we're given like our own like a small
Oh,
computer, and it's basically like connected to other like like what
servers and stuff.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, like
Oh.
like what call it call center has this like small computers and stuff.
Mhm.
My
Yeah.
personal computer is shit, man. I mean, it still gives me like good work. Like I can still do like sculpting, 3D printing, and
Mm.
stuff like that. But no,
But you do have a PS5, right? And I'm
I do
sure
not.
you've.
I don't have. I don't have.
You don't have a PS5?
It's just like so. The thing with me is like I don't really spend time playing. I don't know, man. It's
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of like bored playing video games. To be honest,
Mm.
I have my Xbox here. Xbox Series X is it? Because
Mm-hmm.
my friend my buddy works in what do you call that Microsoft. He works for
Oh, that's a
Gears, yeah, Gears of War
nice.
and Halo 2. So he told me like, hey, you wanna buy my Xbox? I was like, yeah, yeah, man. So he bought his new, I think it was Halo version, and then his as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't play. Like his Xbox was like, fuck, I'm not gonna buy PS5, so I'm not gonna play.
Mm.
But I somewhat like played the God of War Ragnarok,
Mm.
like the
You
newer
did.
ones, yeah. But Spider-Man, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, man. I'm really bad at like joysticks. I prefer like computer, but I don't have time to like upgrade my. Cause I have a lot of hobbies, 3D printing, like Tamiya Mini 4 WD.
Tamiya, like the
You know,
small
like
cars.
yeah, yeah, the Let's Go.
Yeah, that's our thing here, right? In the
Yeah,
Philippines where we're
yeah,
still
yeah,
young,
yeah.
like these like crush gear stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
know, but here there's nothing going on. So I just like fuck. I built my own what do you call that like the circuit thingy, and I was like playing
Mm-hmm.
it in my other room.
Yeah, nice.
I'm a loner.
The
I have
ultimate male fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
That's what
what.
that was my partner was saying in PS5. You're not gonna play it, so I was like, yeah, you're right. So
Hmm.
that's all good.
I'll stick with the cars. I'll
Yeah.
stick with Tamiya
Do you have
then.
PS5? You play
Yeah, yeah, I
PS5?
do have one. I've
Oh.
been playing a lot of big games. I'm actually looking forward to a lot of big games like Final Fantasy 16
Oh yeah, yes, I saw that
and
as well. Yeah. 'Cause I
yeah,
usually watch
massive.
Youngye, the Metal
Oh,
Gear
Young, yeah, yeah,
Solid.
yeah.
Yeah, Metal
Hmm.
Gear Solid as well. I've seen the
Yeah, really
yeah.
cool, right?
That was-
And yeah, there's do you ever see yourself working in video games?
If I would get the opportunity, I would, but I'm somewhat busy now because I have my like my small part time. I have a little bit like something
Mm-hmm.
going on like hobby like printing some stuff. I have my work as well, so my time is pretty much like tight.
Mm-hmm.
But if
And
I
oh,
do,
thank you for like, you know, joining the podcast. Yeah.
this is so good because I was trying to like finish my work earlier as well.
Mm-hmm.
Not the Sony work, but like some side projects.
What Sony work? Hmm.
Oh no, like Sony. No, I mean like the Sony image work, like the movies
Mhm.
that we work.
There's a lot of things to talk about, but
Hmm.
we want to go back to Spider Verse again.
Hmm.
And uh, what do you think? Since you worked on the Jessica Drew one, right?
Hmm.
Is that the only scene that you've worked on?
I think I've worked on a lot. To be honest. I've worked
Like
on
something significant?
not really significant, bro, because there's just like a lot of artists. There was just a lot, but
Mhm.
yeah, like the juniors who worked on that movie worked on a bunch of characters. To be honest, and me myself, I'm somewhat still working my character, my character work because I'm not really into like characters. I'm more into like
Mhm.
monsters. Like I'm more into like monster stuff, like anatomy and all those shit. And some
Mhm.
are
Okay.
like
Okay.
yeah, and most of it
Like
are
the
like
tentacle ones.
tentacle. No, no, no. I
Okay.
I worked my hardest work. I think no, I haven't done hard work and a lot of like heavy works in what do you call it in Sony. Probably I did two characters, just like a back like remember like the barbecue scene
In where?
in the top, like in Sony in Spider Verse.
Oh yeah, and in the rooftop scene,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, I've worked on two
Mm-hmm.
characters there, but just really small ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to like say a lot because we worked a lot of stuff, and I just don't want to like slide some some spoilers for you and NDA shit. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, it's basically I didn't work a lot of like heavy stuff in there. Probably
Mm-hmm.
some buildings, some prop.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, you've worked at least you're still part of the team,
Oh
right?
yeah,
And then
yeah, yeah.
you did your stuff, and it's impressive to
Yeah,
see
yeah. But
how
I
far
think
you've come.
I'd say the big one that I worked was for me was the Guardians because I did I did the what do you call it the Orgo Sentry, like the enemies. The have you watched Guardians of the Galaxy?
The new one,
Yeah, the new
Volume
one.
Three.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw it, and I love it.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was I forgot what's like the enemy that looks like fleshy guys. Like I forgot.
Isn't that the one where they float in like zero
Yeah,
gravity?
yeah, 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 yeah,
Oh,
yeah. That
okay.
one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The
Okay,
villains,
that part.
yeah, the guards. I've
Hmm.
somewhat there's like there's three of us, three artists who worked on the spaceship as well. Just only on the Orgo space because the other shots, other spaceships are built on the other companies. So they built their own spaceship as well. And then
Mm,
I've somewhat helped worked on because three artists worked on the pig, the war pig,
the warpig.
the pig, the
Oh,
and
the
the
one with the
yeah,
mechanical,
yeah,
like weird mutated pig with the metal arms.
yeah, yeah. There's three of us who
Mm,
worked on that. Yeah, probably
that's a
that's
very yeah, that's a
yeah,
very like interesting design like, and disturbing as well.
yeah,
Yeah. Have you
yeah,
seen the final product though? Like,
yeah, yeah.
were you
Most
okay
of them,
with?
yeah, yeah, all of. But I think I don't want to say this, but I think the only one movie that I didn't watch was Hotel Transylvania.
You worked on
Yeah,
Hotel
yeah, yeah.
Transylvania?
I worked. I think it
Nice.
was on Amazon Prime. I think.
Mm,
But I wasn't. I didn't have the time to watch it.
mm.
I,
Like, why can't you find the time to watch something that you've worked on and then?
because it's spoiling me, dude. Like if I watch a movie, like I get a little bit like tired of watching it because I know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've been
So
like watching the same thing again and again. Like,
yeah,
oh
yeah.
god,
Like
give me a
yeah,
break.
I've seen this in the meetings. I've seen this like
Mm.
people, the artists who worked on it. So I was like, nah, I don't mind watching That's the thing. Like if you work in the industry now, like you don't really feel like probably it's just me or I don't know. But to me, like the thing with working in this industry is just you get spoiled. Like probably if you just want to spend time with your partner or family or your friends just watching it, probably I'd go. But I watch by myself. No,
Mm-hmm.
I'd
Have you
rather.
ever like, oh, have you ever tried like like pretending you're not part of the movie and then watching it with someone else and then, oh, check this out, something like
No,
that.
because
Like, I'm
they know that I'm working in the
ah,
industry. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
okay.
And
But
then
you could fool someone with that, right? Like,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, because like I'm also really somewhat what do you call that? Wanted to pursue this 3D printing thing too. So
It's nice. It's great. It's great. Uh, back to Spider Verse again. What do you think was like the hardest? Uh, during the meetings that you did, I'm not sure if it's part of the NDA.
hmm
What was like the hardest sequence that they ever made in that movie? But I'm sure like I've seen an interview on that one that was
hmm
it was the chase scene, right?
the chasing, yeah. The
The
with well
Spider-Man
the
chasing.
York, right? Like where they were on a train. Was it that one?
Yes, yes, that one. But on your meetings though, like what was it?
Phew, because in Sony there's the animation team. They call it the dream team. You know.
The Dream Team.
Yeah, so basically, if you're somewhat part of like the dream team of the animation, basically you're one of like the good and the best animators in in Sony, I'd say. But I'm really talented artists as well, talented animators. So basically, they're one of like the top really good people. All of the artists are good. It's just like the movies that they worked on before that, you know. So I think yeah, probably one of that is like the scene where like they chase Miles because it's like I think that's one of the climax of the movie, right?
Yeah.
And I think the other crazy shot was like also the part where like the entrance of Jessica Drew and the entrance of what's the name of that guy again? The
Miguel O'Hara.
Yeah, Miguel O'Hara. So that one is a really big one as well because like I think of the effects, man, it took them a while or to like the right style of Vulture just because they wanted to be like Renaissance, like Da Vinci type of like artwork as well. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that those two, but there's really more. I'd say there's really more to see, to be honest, because I don't know, there's a lot of things going on, especially like the characters that if you check them one by one, you can still find like different like different world. The Lego one was I was really surprised because I didn't know just Lego was like, well, we didn't work in Lego, but it turns out like it was a 14-year-old
Yeah, it was a
kid.
14-year-old kid who
Yeah, I was
worked on
surprised as
that
well. Like,
Lego
holy
scene.
shit! Like, I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's kind of
It,
cool
wa- it
because
it wasn't part of the meetings. It wasn't like you
no,
have
it
no idea
probably
what.
no, we don't have any idea that it happened. So basically, when I watch
Mm,
it, like, oh shit, I didn't know we did Lego. How was it able to be approved? Because Lego is also part of Animalogic.
mm,
Animalogic is basically a different. It's like basically the studio who who specifically creates the Lego movies.
I love the Lego
Yeah,
movies.
yeah. So I was like, shit, how they were able to like
Mm.
approve it? Like, oh, probably connections and stuff. They
And
un-
they also
they
did a few touch-ups, right? Like I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I'm sure like the 14-year-old kid is not doing everything on that one.
Oh, pretty sure he did all of it. It's just like the directors giving him like what they wanted. Like basically, oh, I don't like this, change that. Because I'm telling you,
Mm,
bro, the directors also kind of chill. They just like yeah.
nice,
So it's not like the supervisor as well. Hands down, really nice guy. Yeah,
nice, nice.
the VFX. So, but yeah, man, like that show is also like crazy because there's like a lot of things that I thought that I know everything, but it's not. I didn't
Okay.
even know like there was like the Venom thingy where like Spot came out on like the convenience store.
Mm.
Then I was like, oh, can you give me I don't know what chocolate was it or I don't know. It's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it's kind of
When Spot went to like different
different. Yeah, I
timelines.
was like, holy shit, that's
Yeah.
that's really cool.
Mm. It was neat. And I also like how the spot was designed. Like, what's the creative process
Oh,
with like
actually,
how people
actually the one
designed Spot?
who created I think the one who created Spot was Leon again. Yeah. Actually, that character is if you model that, bro, like I think it's not like easy, but for a person who starts like doing 3D modeling, I think it's really straightforward to model. The one that's really hard was on the effects side because I
Mm-hmm.
think the spots, the black thing on his body was was really I don't know, like really heavy lifted by the effects team because of like it has to grow big, has to grow small, it has to have this like bubble thingy, like keeps on like going. It was really intricate, I'd say. But in terms of like the model, like the model itself is real simple. It's like a base.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like he was a major highlight for me in the movie. Like, whenever he creates his portals, like, okay,
Oh
wow,
yeah.
this the first battle with Miles Morales was really good. Like, how did that happen? Like, what's the animating style here? Like,
Yeah.
it's insane. Like, they're jumping portals and portals and portals.
Yeah, I don't really have any idea to be honest. I just know that they have like the hands like invisible probably or like I don't know to be honest how they did it but the portal thing is basically effects I'd say. Yeah, but I don't know
Mm.
how like the 'cause I just know like I cannot tell you like some technical stuff from the other departments because I don't know what they call it. But for modeling, I can and CFX probably I can share more of that.
But how about Miguel O'Hara? Like, what do you think about like his design? Like, what's up with the lightsaber webs with the
Oh,
vampire
yeah.
designs?
To be honest, when I
He's
saw first that,
hmm?
it was really cool as fuck. Like holy shit! Like this is
He is cool.
because like
Yeah.
before they start or before we start, like the company starts. I don't know, like creating like a shot. They always have a test. Let's just say the I think the Guardians of the Galaxy, right? They have this
Hmm.
test of like the four friends of Rocket. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you've seen that. So basically, they're showing like a test where like, oh, it's doable. So okay, let's do it. So that I think that's how it kind of like the cape thingy. Also, they kind of like do some tests, a lot of tests. Didn't like pop all right away. It's just like it takes a lot of like trial and error. Like, okay, what style do we want? Like, man, like supervisors are, I don't know how they were able to like their minds are working like that. But
Yeah, they're probably high on that part. Like we need something. We need to do this,
yeah, I don't know
and
how
it's
they.
insane. Yeah, with all the no, with all the
Yeah,
neon, with all
yeah, that's
the
what I'm telling you.
blaring
Like a
brown.
lot of styles, but how they were able to like look for like, oh, okay, this character, this is his style. Oh, this character,
Mm-hmm.
this is his style. Like, shit. Or probably they took it
It's
from the comics, but then how can they translate it into like a better way or something?
yeah. You could already tell how talented they are, right? And
Yeah.
it's great to
Yeah.
see these things come to life on movies.
Yeah, basically the industry is pretty big in terms of like work, but it's small in terms
Mm-hmm.
of like connections and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. What's that all about? Like the industry, like you told me, right, that everyone knows each other. Like, hey, you're the one
Hmm.
I know from this one, right?
Yeah, so basically, let's just say Spider-Man, like the director wants to do this. Oh, I know an artist who knows this, so they'll like, oh, do you want to hop on here? Like, yeah, sure. If like they're on out of their contract and stuff, and then let's
Mm-hmm.
just say they wanna do, hey, do you have a project like this? Like, oh, can I work in here? Like, those kind of stuff. So there's a lot of opportunities that you can jump in, but yeah, like to be honest, dude, it's really useless to like compare our industry there in our country and compared to here because it's
Oh yeah, come on.
yeah, it's
It's too
uncomparable.
far.
It's really stupid if people starts to like say like, oh, it's on Hollywood level or this and that. So
Mm-hmm.
doesn't
Voltus
really matter.
5 is Hollywood level.
Yeah, I'd say it's just it has its own thing going on. I'd say.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would okay? What would you say to the Philippine industry though? Like to step up. Like, how would you in your mind, like how would you like fix this stuff?
To be honest, there's no fixing, dude. Like,
There's no fix.
unfortunately, like yeah, unfortunately, there's really no fixing because like it needs a lot of money and then there's no investors. Like you cannot see. I'd say like if you go to our country, there's no investors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like let's just say other companies wants to invest because there's some money like goes back to you, but at the end of the day, I'd say just do your own thing.
It's always
Yeah.
the money, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's different. It's really different in our country. So
Mm-hmm.
just do your own thing. You'll be good. Same as like Bollywood, they do their own
Mm-hmm.
thing. But yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Now, to do you have anything else to say about Spider Verse though? Like, do you have something to say about uh this movie to the listeners out there?
I'd say just go out there, bro. Like watch it on the big cinemas. I know like people wanted to just watch it on their phones, uh houses and stuff, like, their own place. But I'd say just go watch it on theaters. It's really worth it because like man, like if you watch it on like theaters and then you'll see those in HD or like in really big screen and then like the surprises and stuff, you'll be on you'll love it 100% and
Yeah.
just enjoy it because like there's also Filipinos who work on it as well.
How many Filipinos? Like,
Oh, I
can
cannot
you
count.
count?
I cannot count, but
Mm.
I know there's five. I'd say 5 or 6 Filipinos who worked on it. Probably
Damn,
some.
nice.
Probably some of them are not really 100% Filipinos, but yeah,
Yeah. You were in an interview with Rappler, right?
yeah,
And yeah, what questions were they asking you? Like, what was it all about?
yeah. It was all about like I don't know. It was really straightforward. It was just they ask some questions and then just answer it right away.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it's just basically like the show that I've worked on, like how is it feels like the history of my brother, like how it started and those kind of stuff. So it was just straightforward. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't like, and also it was like the marketing team also wants to like promote the movie and the stuff like that. Big,
Nice.
yeah. So it was basically that. But here, like I don't want to like represent Sony as well, just because it's big. Sony is big, and I
Yeah.
myself is not. I'm not really like that big enough to like.
And we don't want to break any,
Yeah, yeah,
NDAs here. We're not gonna get killed by Sony spies. So who knows? There's a gun. Who knows? Maybe you're in gunpoint right now,
yeah.
man.
No. No.
Yeah. Um. Since this is a part one, though, like,
Mhm.
a lot of people are actually like freaking out. Like the ending was a very cliffhanging one.
Mhm.
Like everyone in the cinemas was like screaming like, no, that was it.
Yeah, yeah.
No. Yeah. What's the process behind this? Like, why are you working on part 3 though?
Oh, I'm not allowed to say anything. That would
Okay.
yes.
Oh, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
My bad. My bad.
It's all
My
good.
bad.
It's all good. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Mm-mm.
just wait for it. It's gonna arrive. I don't know when, but they're gonna, because I'm not working on the show as well. I'm working on a different show right now. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah,
Okay. Could you say that it's ready or something? Like it's.
I'd say I'd say no. I think it's still. I think Sony is still working on to make it like much more, compelling movies, compelling story, make
Mm-hmm.
it much more interesting. But yeah, I'd say just wait. Probably I don't know.
Okay.
It's
Sige,
gonna
sige.
yeah,
Like, Beyond the Spider Verse can't come soon enough, and
yeah.
a lot of people are actually excited for that third part of the movie now.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I have so many questions about that one, but I don't want to, like see you on a headline the next day
Yeah,
on
but
like
no, no, no.
Vancouver. Like,
I'm not.
this
I'm
guy
not
is.
allowed to say that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
but
yeah,
just wait for it. It's gonna arrive soon.
yeah.
You don't
All
know.
right. Who is your favorite Spider-Man though? In the movie, like.
Spider-Man. I think it would be, um, forgot his name. The Afro guy.
Oh,
Forgot.
Hobie.
Yeah, yeah.
Hobie.
Hobie. Yeah, Hobie. Yeah.
Hobie. Yeah, the rocker boy
The rapper.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, the guitar
Yeah.
guitar guy. Yeah. That's
A
that.
lot
that
of people actually like him.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I think that's the
Like,
only.
what's the creative process behind that character? Like,
Oof,
how does he work?
I don't know, man, because there was different artists who work on it. So I cannot like share you any experience for that because I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
the artist for that. But basically it's the same thing. You have a reference, somebody models it, and then ship it to different departments. What I said. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea how they built it, and I don't have no idea like how they started it. But yeah, another
Wow.
artist worked on it.
It's really great. Like, he steals the scene he's in as well.
Yeah, and then the style as
With
well. Yeah.
yeah, and with back to your Jessica Drew one. Since you designed the motorcycle,
Oh,
like
I
that's
didn't design. I modeled it.
you modeled
Yeah,
it, but my bad.
designed it.
Like what's the process? I mean, what's the inspiration for that motorcycle
I think it
like
was
modeling thing?
started on Harley Davidson
Mm-hmm.
motorbike, and then they started to like just pick parts from different motorbikes, and then that's what it is. Like, I think there was a different artist who drew like I think 12 or like a lot of sketches of motorbikes. So he drew 20 or something like that, and then after that, the director will say like, I like this headlights, I like this part. Like, so basically, it became like a Frankenstein.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, changes and changes. So it was a lot of like iterations and stuff.
Mm. Did she ever do the Akira slide on the movie? Do you know that one?
I
Like when
know,
a
no,
motorcycle
I
like
didn't, but
does
I
a
think
thing.
probably they did. Probably they did use it as a reference, but I don't know
Mm-hmm.
like the discussion between animation department and the supervisor because it's their own
Okay.
thing too. Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
different departments have their own meetings. So
But have you seen Akira though?
probably just a slide.
It's a slide. You should watch it, man. Like it probably gonna bring out some creative juices on you. Like, holy
Yeah.
shit, this thing is good.
I only
It's
watch
insane.
some animes, but not. And also I read mostly manhwa.
Manhwa. Okay,
Yeah,
that's still nice.
solo
Yeah.
leveling, some great estate
Solo leveling.
developer,
Mm-hmm.
overgeared, also stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Any other inspirations that you could think of when you were doing your CFX modeling?
Yeah.
Aside from your Tamiya.
To be honest, no. It's just like to me, it's just artwork. Like you have reference and then just follow it because when you work on this industry, man, it's just like there's just a lot of like things you see every time
Mm-hmm.
now and then. A lot of artists coming in, a lot of like artworks coming AI as well. I don't
Yeah,
know.
AI.
Yeah, there's just a
Oh
lot of
fuck.
stuff.
Can we talk about AI though? Like, what do you think about AI? Like, how is it like dampening or changing your the VFX or the FX landscape?
Currently, right now, it's not really affecting, but probably
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a year or so. It's just because we just need to I don't know adapt to AI, but I don't think I don't think it's gonna replace humans. Probably the work becomes more easier, quicker, and just like a little bit of like fixing from human touches and stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
currently, right now, it's not. But hopefully, it's not really gonna affect really like in big time. But yeah, man.
Mm-hmm. It's not gonna be a threat. Are you sure? All right.
No, I don't. I think it will, but hopefully not that.
Okay. It's
But
not gonna turn out to be like a Mitchell versus the Machine situation where
yeah.
everyone gonna hunt you down until the
Nah,
ends of
nah,
the
nah, nah,
earth.
nah, nah, nah.
Yeah.
Probably no, but
Mm-hmm.
hopefully it's not really gonna affect. Probably like in concept thingy, like where people like artists who draw 2D and stuff like that, doing some concept art. Because
Mm-hmm.
like it's easy just to like type some prompts in Mid Journey or I don't know what kind of
Yeah,
AI.
but that yeah, a lot of people are like so against it though. Like artists, they're not very they don't really feel like AI is a good step in the right direction.
It's not a good step, but it's just like to me I use AI a little bit when in terms of
Mm-hmm.
like studying. Like let's just say sometimes I study Python
Mm-hmm.
like just for doing creating my own tools like hey how do
Mm-hmm.
you teach me how to do like functions teach me how to do this so I just type in and then it kind of like helped me how to build my my um, knowledge from that AI thingy
Mm-hmm.
but yeah I don't really use it to be lazy like hey create me an essay of this but no
Yeah.
resume
Like that's the thing. It separates that if you're trying to use AI for being just lazy, that's gonna be a problem.
yeah
Yeah. So yeah, that's at
eventually
least
it'll arrive but
mm-hmm.
hopefully not that soon.
Okay. So wait, how long have you been working on the industry though? Did we talk about
Almost
this?
yeah almost 5 years now.
Almost 5 years. That's
Yeah, almost
very
5 years.
nice.
Yeah.
And you're landing on the big jobs and uh, on big projects like Spider
Hmm.
Verse, Guardians. Are you working? No, I'm not. I'm
No,
not gonna
yeah,
ask
I'm not
any
allowed, but
questions. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Mm-mm.
I worked on some big names.
Interesting. To end this little interview that we had, and thank you so much, man, for uh, hanging out with me and asking questions. My other partner isn't around though because
Mhm.
I don't know where the fuck he is.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so
Yeah,
nice,
thank you so
nice.
much. Thank you for having me, man. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, if you have some questions about
Mm-hmm.
like 3D, or if you want to learn even like how to start in the
Yes.
3D,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah, yeah.
you want to do like do you do like Dungeons and Dragons that kind of stuff or
I do Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't have a lot of friends to play that with.
oh I see. So you
Yeah.
do collect all those like soldiers and stuff, right? No.
The small soldiers one, I did remember that when I was a kid.
Really?
So that's a
Because
yeah.
it's still a thing here in Vancouver. Like they still have it. But
In fact,
anyways, yeah,
really.
yeah, and like they buy like 3D printers. They create their own soldiers and stuff. So
Mm.
it's like a big thing here. But I don't do that. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like I like to do 3D printing. That's why I asked if you do like 3D, Dungeons and Dragons or kind of like
Mm.
goes into hobby.
Because
But
I
yeah.
like my other partner, my other friend is like he's working on like figure painting figures.
Hmm.
Like he gets online models from like
Yeah, yeah,
online shops,
so yeah, yeah,
and then he paints on them. Like he actually enjoys it.
yeah, yeah. I do
That's a
that too.
thing.
Yeah, yeah. It's a thing.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a thing. I understand though. Like there's a therapeutic thing behind it.
That's true.
So
Yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, Czar,
Sure
for
thing,
this
man.
interview. And any other final words to say to the listeners out there?
I think I'd say just like if you want to go in the industry, right? Just post your stuff in YouTube, in ArtStation, in Instagram. It's free, It it's not gonna hurt as long as you don't use
Mhm.
AI, as long as you don't copy other people's work. Just work every single day, and just enjoy the process. Because like money, just think of it as money goes last, and then if you really need money, that's where you have to if you're kind of like comfortable doing the job, then that's where you probably like find the money side. But if you're starting out, just think of like making the artwork. I think that's it. But in terms of like going in the industry, it just do your own stuff, man. Just don't be what do you call that, get demotivated by seeing AI stuff like YouTube, like oh he's better than your own stuff. Yeah.
All right. Nice. Thank you,
All right.
thank you, man. Thank you again so much.
Sure thing. Thanks again.
And yeah, this has been another episode, a special episode of Feed the Geeks podcast. My name is Thirdy and
I'm Czar on Pat.
Czar.
Thank you so much for
Yes.
having me.
Bye bye.